Radiant team ban.
Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We are here for the Asia Predator League 2019 Sri Lankan qualifiers with a 800,000 prize pool. And of course, the winners will be
Dire
representing Sri
team
Lanka in Bangkok for the main event. So we do have Team Undefined taking on Memento Mori. And I am Tera, and joining me on the cast is going to be Pawan. Hi, Pawan. Pawan? Okay, Pawan seems to be a bit FK, so let's see what that draft is going to be. Very unusual bans coming out. We do have the anti-mage being banned out. Not a hero that you see
10
teams banning
seconds
out a lot,
remaining.
because even though he did get minor
Radiant
buffs,
team ban.
not minor, he did get quite a bit of buffs, but still he is a hero that needs a lot of space and can get pressured very easily if the team is having a bad laning
Dire
stage. So
team
I don't really
ban.
think it is that good of a ban. It's very easily countered with most of the heroes that are there, especially the likes of Slark, Lion, Robic, who have been very popular in the meta right now, and the Pudge and the Kunkka being banned out by Team Undefined. Again, Kunkka, out of meta hero, doesn't play a lot. His cleave got nerfed. He's honestly not that
10
great of a
seconds
hero right
remaining.
now. And Pudge is a very niche pick. I like to
5
play him quite a
seconds.
bit,
Radiant
especially
team
in the
ban.
Dota 2 scene, not just in Sri Lanka, just abroad as well. Internationally, he's one of those niche picks that people like to pull out of the bag. And with the buff that he has got, he is, I mean, decent, but he needs to have a really good early start.
Dire
Otherwise, he
team
just falls
hit.
off quite hard. And Pawan, are you here? Are you back?
Yeah, hello.
Hi, hi. What do you think about Tinker and the Puck being
Radiant
banned out? Do you
team
think
hit.
it's first phase worthy bans?
I'm not too sure about it because it's rather a player-based pick ban for Tinker, I think.
Yeah. Puck, I think, is strong, but Tinker, again, a hero that can get very easily countered if he's actually picked up in the first phase. So there are other heroes that can be banned out in the first phase, like the
10
Centaur, the
seconds
Axe,
remaining.
the Brewmaster.
Yeah, the
Then you
Grimstroke.
5
have
seconds remaining.
Grimstroke, yeah, very strong hero. Dazzle, very
Radiant
strong
team hit.
heroes right now in the meta. And even the Ogre, I mean, Ogre, he got buffed heavily. Even though he was a very strong hero in the previous patch, he got buffed in this patch as well. I'm not sure what Valve was thinking when they did give the Ogre that buff. But he's very strong. He can be played as a core on the offlane or as a
10
position 4
seconds
or even a
remaining.
5 for that matter. He's a very versatile hero. So Memento Mori keeping their
5
draft open
seconds
with that
remaining.
Ogre pickup. And they pick up the Witch Doctor on the side of Team Undefined as a reply, so they do have the double pick coming out. Again, a hero that I don't really like, hasn't been seen a lot,
Dire team pick.
requires really good positioning. Slada. Pawan, this is one of your favorite heroes. What do you think about this pick?
Yeah, I think it is a good pick, but as of now, I don't think it's a good position 4 hero. It's better off offlane.
For sure, he does offer a lot with that. Is it like
10
4th hit bash
seconds
every time?
remaining.
Is that what was changed? I don't know. I haven't played the hero after the patch.
5 seconds remaining.
I think it's the
Yeah,
fourth,
it's the
fourth hit
pick.
bash.
Yeah, the 4th pick.
Okay, so other than the 4th hit bash, does he have a chance of bashing in the middle of those 4 hits, or is it just like
No,
constant
just
4 hit
like
bash?
yeah, constant foundry.
Okay, so basically you get a lot of attack speed and you keep bashing.
Yeah.
So waiting on the second pick from Memento Mori, they do see one of their supports, Witch Doctor. They do have the
Dire
urge
team ban.
open, which is quite good. They have 2 pickups. Up Vengeful Spirit, it offers a very sure way of cancelling Witch Doctor ultimate. Pretty good. So I'm assuming this is a position 5 Venge. Very
10
underrated hero,
seconds
but has a very
remaining.
good win rate
Team
in the current
ban.
patch. So I was watching a video recently on Dota Alchemy, and they were picking the top
Dire
3
team
underrated
ban.
heroes in the patch, and Vengeful Spirit was one of them. He actually has a higher win rate than Meepo. So Meepo's win rate is actually due to the fact that people don't pick Meepo, and the people who pick Meepo are good at
Radiant team
the
ban.
hero, and they tend to win the game because they pick it as the last pick, and then you don't really have counters on the other side for the Meepo. So one of the main reasons that the hero has a very high win rate, which is 57% if I'm not mistaken, and Vengeful Spirit actually has a 58 or 59% win rate over the Meepo, and this hero is a hero that a lot of people play because it is a playable hero and is a
10
very underrated
seconds
hero right now in the
remaining.
patch. And with a 59% win rate,
5
obviously the hero is
seconds
good because
remaining.
otherwise it won't have that high of a win rate in the current patch.
Radiant team pick.
And we do have the Void Invoker ban. A lot of mid heroes have been banned out. SF, Tinker, Puck, Invoker. So, Pawan, a question for you. Do you like to play do you think the Puck is a good mid hero or an offlane hero?
As of now, Puck is a good mid hero because he can get the early levels
10
and dominate the other
seconds
lanes
remaining.
as well.
Okay, so I'll correct you
5
there.
seconds
Actually, it's a good
remaining.
offlaner. So I'm not sure how this works though, because I don't know the reasoning behind it. But the hero has been run offlane more than mid in the current patch. At least that's what the stats says. I don't know the reasoning behind it. Probably uh, because the
For
offlane
the
still gets
dominance?
levels and they do get a lot of. Yeah, I guess because it's very hard to kill, and with the meta kind of rotating between a 2-1-2 and uh, like previously basically in the meta the 2-1-2 was very fixed. You don't rotate at all, so your dual lane on the off lane does not rotate at all. They just dominate that lane completely. But now the meta has kind of switched where the support hero on the off lane kind of rotates around, goes into the
Dire
jungle,
team
rotates
pick.
to the mid lane, or you try to dual lane mid if the mid is having a bad lane. And Puck is basically a hero. If you leave him alone, he cannot die. It's very strong. It's very hard to catch due to phase shift and orb out. So that's why I think that's the reasoning behind him being played more offlane than mid. But uh, he's a hero that can be played in both positions, obviously. But I think
10
he's
seconds remaining.
better as an offlane just because of the fact that it allows the support to kind of
5
rotate out.
seconds remaining.
And Kotal being banned out. So Kotal Ultimate was changed. It's just insane. You do see a lot of Kotal in pubs. You do see him in professional games because he farms really fast and his
Radiant
ultimate is just
team pick.
broken. You just go straight up. Basically like one saw ability item like a Glimmer or a Force Staff and then just build right into a Refresher Orb. And that ultimate is just absolutely broken. If you stack it up with a Refresher, there's no way that anyone can get out of it unless with a BKB. And you get that Refresher early, you're done for. So quite a good pick.
10 seconds
And
remaining.
Memento Mori actually go with the CK.
5
So
seconds remaining.
CK isn't bad because Team Undefined cannot pick up the Earthshaker. They already have their offlane and position 4, unless they want to run the Earthshaker mid. But they can pick up the Ember Spirit. They can pick up the Juggernaut. Juggernaut isn't that good against CK actually. Who else do they have?
Odi
Any
is
idea,
there,
Pawan?
actually.
Oh yeah, Odie is
With
there.
the-
But
with the
Odie doesn't
new-
kill illusions with one hit, right?
Yeah, that's true. But it's new first with the AoE damage. He could
Dire team
do
pick.
something.
Yeah. So they do have the
Ooh,
Medusa.
the
Okay.
Medusa.
I forgot about the Medusa.
Yeah, easy counter.
Oh, then again though, the Medusa's ultimate also does not take off all illusions, but yeah, it does counter the CK to a certain level.
But with the Aga, he can destroy the illusions with the snake.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think Medusa doesn't really want to
10
build into an
seconds
Aga. He's a
remaining.
hero. It's just, I feel like it's a waste of a slot. You tend to go more
5 seconds
Skadi,
remaining.
basically MOM Skadi, Daedalus, maybe stack a Divine on top of it, and you're like, basically you got the game in the bag at that point if you don't control the Medusa. Aghanim's is kind of it's a very situational pickup, and we don't see it. I feel like it's a waste of a slot. Just to counter the CK, I don't think it's good enough of an item. It's 4,200 gold. It's a lot of gold you're spending just to counter one hero. Whereas you can still counter the hero by getting Maelstrom and you have split arrows. You just get a lot of damage. But CK does destroy the Medusa early game. That is thing though. So it depends on which of the heroes have a better early game. strange that most of the strong heroes haven't been picked. I mean, you have Dazzle, you have Tiny, you have Lion, Rubik. A lot of strong heroes have been just completely ignored. You have Io, but to be honest, like a lot of Sri Lanka teams don't play the Io because it does require very high tier level of play. I haven't seen even the top teams in Sri Lanka run the IO. I might have seen him in 1 or 2 games maximum over the past years where people pick the IO, but a lot of Sri Lanka teams do not run it just because of it's a very high team tier based hero basically. Don't go with the OD. This is actually a good counter to Medusa though. It's a very good counter to Medusa. So offlaner or a support for Memento Mori and a mid or a position 1 for Team Undefined. Who do you think they'll go for?
Remaining.
I think they will send Medusa mid and get a carry to
5
contest
seconds
OD.
remaining.
What's the carry you're looking at if they are to counter the OD? Because OD is very strong. I don't see off the bat. I don't see a lot of carries who doesn't get destroyed by the
Dire
CK.
team ban.
But there's Void left
Maybe.
in the core.
Void is actually banned.
Oh, I just banned it.
Who do they have? They have Ember gets destroyed.
Or else they could send the Wind Ranger mid.
Oh yeah, Wind Ranger. It's a very good counter for OD for sure. Just because of the fact that OD cannot basically steal anything. It's steal intel off the Wind Ranger because he does have that Wind Run to deal with it. But again, it comes down to how they play the lane because OD, if he gets an extra level in Astral, as soon as the Wind Ranger Wind runs while you're fighting him, you just Astral Wind Ranger and you won't be able to kill him afterwards. But the advantage for Wind Ranger in that matchup is the range that he has over OD, because Wind Ranger has actually higher range than the OD, and he does have power shot to be able to spam and get last hits. Doesn't really need to go up and close or fight up against the OD. OD excels at just zoning out heroes, which he cannot do to Wind Ranger. They do have him. I actually like this pick, Underlord. Gives them that much more control, and with the CK, it will lead into some interesting plays if they use the Dark Rift properly. Like CK ultimate, Dark Rift into some tower, immediately destroy it.
Remaining.
You can do quite a lot of work with it.
5 seconds remaining.
Like they can be pushing one lane at one time with CK ultimate and then immediately teleporting to another lane. You're still going to have all the CK illusions with you. It's definitely interesting to see how they are going to play it. And they don't really have good kill potential on the Underlord. Underlord is just going to be very much unkillable unless they get some sort of really good damage to go with the Witch Doctor Maledict.
Juggernaut.
Go with the Juggernaut. So not actually bad. I think it's decent. Very strong hero in the patch. And does well against the Underlord. You do have sustain in the lane with Healing Ward. And if the Underlord makes a bad movement in the laning stage, it's just going to run into Slaughter Stomp, Witch Doctor Curse, as well as Cask. And you just die to Blade Fury afterwards with the post damage from Maledict. So definitely a decent pick with the Juggernaut. But like I say, he doesn't really counter the CK. Just waiting on the game to begin. So just a reminder, this is the Asia Predator League 2019 Sri Lankan qualifiers with an 800,000 prize pool on the line. 44 teams battling it out. This is day number 3 and this is match number 9. Let's get into the game. Pawan, why don't you start introducing the Radiant team?
Okay, the Radiant team, Centaur is being played by High, and Death playing Medusa, Victim Slada, and Witch Doctor being played by Vailish, and Toxic playing Juggernaut.
So on the Dire team, we have, with Dire team is, I forget the 2 teams now. Memento Mori is on the Dire. So Memento Mori, we have the position 1 CK being played by Prelatus. never mind. I get these pronunciations mixed up. These words basically. So the Ogre position 4 being played by AZ. Lucky playing the position 5 Vengeful Spirit. The position 2 mid Outworld Devourer being played by Saxo. And the Underlord being played by Darkwolf on the offlane.
30 seconds to battle.
Just a bit of all chat going on. The referee immediately stopping them. Shouldn't happen. Both teams not looking to contest runes. I don't think they can run into anyone right here. Probably the Radiant team can run into them, but they're not looking to.
Battle begins.
Because they have the Witch Doctor Curse as well as Blade Fury if they really want to, you know, contest. So runes are going to be traded. How do you think the lanes will go? Which lane do you think will go in favor of which team?
I think Juggernaut and Witch Doctor will have a decent lane as of the Curse and Spin.
Top
It
lane.
all depends on the. Yeah, the top lane is full of disables, like we can't say that.
Yes, true. Both teams have a lot of disables. I don't think they'll be like that good of kill potential on the top lane. They're just going to be stunning each other up if they try to go on each other, and they'll be able to get away. It's going to be how they trade region and how well they use their mana in that lane. So people who are very conservative with their mana and does more damage conserving that mana will be able to win that lane.
And now the mid lane is not going to be with kills and just farming.
I think bottom lane is definitely where the kills are going to be. So this ward, I don't really like this ward. I'm not sure what the Radiant team is expecting out of that ward. It just covers the two camps that they already have and doesn't really give vision for them over the offlane on the Dire team. Doesn't do much for sure. And the ward placed by Lucky there, another ward that I don't really like. It should be on the lane. Oh, cast flies out. They are trying to go, but I don't think they have the damage because Vengeful Spirit. Oh, he actually does not have stun, but they don't have kill potential without the Maledict. If he had got Maledict, probably. Cask is such a bad skill, level 1. They are trying to go on the Juggernaut. Juggernaut does get stunned up by the Vengeful Spirit. The Firestorm is going to be there as well, but obviously not having any other follow-up stuns and not being able to do enough damage. I don't think they can kill the Juggernaut, but I think they definitely go. Another stun flies out. They do not have the Blade Fury. There is another Firestorm. They are going to get it off. And Toxic might just die. Oh, it just runs out. Does survive. So immediately Healing Ward picked up. And a very greedy build from Juggernaut. Did you see that he has only like 2 shared tangos? I think that was the Witch Doctor gave.
Yeah, 2 shared tangos and 1 tango save.
Dire's top
He's
tower
flying in
is
a
under attack.
stick.
Oh, top lane? How did that happen? That shouldn't have been a kill. They're contesting the pool. That shouldn't have happened though. 2 disables, you don't go down to CK and Ogre. And both of those heroes do have their stuns.
Over the bot lane.
Oh, they are trying to go on the Underlord. Underlord does have the melody, but I don't think it's enough damage. He is going to survive here. Just enough HP. He does have a salve as well. And Juggernaut is out of mana. He has picked up a magic stick, which is going to help him keep healthy, even though he does not have a lot of tangos left. What he should have done is Stout Shield, 6 tangos, couple of Ironwood branches, and get the Quelling Blade from the side shop. Would have given him enough and more regen and sustain in the lane, and could have easily used a lot. And top lane again, we do have the Ogre and the CK bringing down the Slardar. I think this Ignite from the Ogre is doing a lot of work for them.
Missing bottom.
It's just, I think it's just very bad positioning from the Radiant team to be dying on this top lane. Bottom lane, Juggernaut does get the spin off, and the Melodic is on both heroes. The Underlord is going to be in a lot of trouble. He might actually go down here, but they are not getting the hits of Juggernaut. Was not moving forward while spinning, and the Melodic will actually take down the Underlord here. The last tick is going to be enough. He should have TP'd back to base a lot soon. I think he realized it a bit too late, and the Underlord does go down, but Juggernaut now does not have the regen, so that is going to be a problem for him, because this meta is basically trading off regen. So even if you die in the lane, if you can come back to the lane with a lot of regen and you out regen your opponent, you just win that lane, even though you did die once. Might have been a tactical death, though they did get caught out.
Maybe, but
Top lane, Slardar fighting off against the bash is going to be there, the stomp as well. It's not going to be enough to the CK. He's rotating from behind. He is going to be able to get the stun off. Ogre might actually go down here. One more stun and he will fall down. The Slardar was trying to give the kill to the center but was not able to. Center falling on low. The CK does not have the mana. He does have a Soul Ring. If he does want to use it, one more second on it. He is not going to use it. Another Slardar stomp onto the crush onto the CK. So bit of banter going on each of the lanes. Again, a cast flies out, a lovely cast. The Melodic is going to be there as well on the bottom lane. This Underlord is in a lot of trouble, and this time the Juggernaut is going to be moving forward, and the Underlord will go down here. The sun flies out, not going to be in time to save. Where did the bounties go? So Lucky manages to pick up 2. Saxo, sorry, the Ogre picks up 1. And where's the other bounty? Odi? Odi TP's bottom lane. He is trying to chase the Witch Doctor with that haste rune. Is not going to be able to do anything with it. That's, I mean, the rotation was, yeah, you did have a haste rune, but you do not have your level 6. You don't really have that good kill potential with an OD that early on, unless you have a lot of intel stolen. And now he does not have mana to use the Astral to gain mana either. Medusa seems to be having quite a bit of a free lane. We do see the Venge rotating mid. He thinks twice about it and goes back bottom.
You should have known. Missing bottom.
Top lane, the center has opted to go for the ring instead of the boots, which is going to help him against the Ogre's Ignite, at least. I don't really like it. So Ogre does smoke up, moving towards the mid lane. Yeah. But I don't think Medusa is killable right now. He does, if they are able to burn his mana down.
Yeah, but Medusa
he's pushing the lane out as well.
Ult also. Yeah.
That's right. So they need to burn his mana down before he gets the ult off, which is very unlikely because he does not have the mana shield on even.
Denied.
Juggernaut is actually having a rather hard time in the bot lane. But
yeah,
actually,
even though he did get a couple of kills off.
Those are just assists, that's the thing.
Battle Fury!
He does use the healing ward, trying to go off the Vengeful Spirit, but that's not the hero with the curse on it. And he does have another stun if he wants to. He turns around with the stun. The Underlord turns around onto the Witch Doctor, realizing that he was coming after. The Witch Doctor does not. It does have one more cast coming off, cooldown, but they don't really have any kill potential. I don't know what the Juggernaut was doing there, because the Melodic was on the Underlord and not on the Vengeful Spirit. And you don't really kill a Venge this early with level 2 Blade Fury.
Yeah, but if he went for the Underlord with the Melodic, he could have again gotten it.
Yeah, I think that kill would have definitely been possible with the Witch Doctor having Melodic at level 2. And another mistake that the Juggernaut has done here. Oh, Juggernaut might get turned on here. They do have the spin though with the Melodic, and the Underlord just overstepping his ground. He's gonna get taken down very easily. That's a huge misplay to make. Underestimating the kill potential that the Juggernaut and the Witch Doctor brings into the lane. And meanwhile, on the top lane, the OD has rotated in with that ultimate. The Slardar will go down, one more hit, and they might get the Slardar here as well. I'm sorry, the center. They do have another stun coming off cooldown. The stun is going to be there as well. With the stun, it's going to be an easy peasy kill. OD does not have the mana, but it is going to be a double kill going towards the CK. They should have probably given the kills to the OD.
Dire's middle
Yeah, but the
tower
thing is,
under attack.
OD's kill win is rather
Dire's
odd
structures
actually.
are fortified.
Because
Oh
you
yeah.
can actually max at the third right now, right?
Yeah, you just get one level of it. Meanwhile, they are trying to go on to the Underlord. Slardar, after dying, comes back onto the bottom lane. They are focusing multiple heroes here, which they shouldn't have been doing. I don't know what they're trying. Slardar needs to hit and get those bashes off, and this he does. Is it going to be enough though? Eventually, he uses a mango. He does have a stun coming off cooldown. He does use it on the Slardar. The right choice there for sure, because that's the hero with the movement speed. Very bad miscommunication from the Radiant team there. They should have got the Underlord there because the Melodic was on him, and with the Slardar rotating in, that should have been quite an easy kill onto the Underlord. It's plays all over the place. And Medusa is extremely fat, sitting at 55 CS, has the MOM up, 2 raid bands, going in for that threads as well. Uncontested farm basically, and OD is trying. I mean, he's up there. He has 45 CS. He's almost there, but he's losing out though. You don't want the Medusa free farming. Oh, I missed a kill bottom lane. They do bring down the Underlord. This Underlord is just bad positioning. To be honest, it's not a lane that they should be dying so much. What do you think about the Juggernaut going for 1 extra level in Blade Dance?
But I think it's not worth actually, because if he got another level on Blade Fury, it would do more damage.
Yeah, he definitely had the chance, because some of the kills, like the kill that he chased Venge there previously, if he had like level 3 Blade Fury instead of level 2 Blade Dance, he might have got that kill, because what's the increase actually? Yeah, it's quite a significant increase in damage. It's almost 30 damage increase, which is quite a lot for the duration. It lasts for 5 seconds, so you're talking about around 5 into 30, that's 300 extra damage. Quite a bit of damage.
That's 150.
Right? Yeah.
150 damage.
Sorry, 150. Sorry, my bad. Jesus. Yeah, that's quite a bit of damage, to be honest. So,
Yeah.
would have been the difference between getting the kill or not. So, disconnects here and there. Very usual. Sri Lankan dudes. Very even between the two teams. It's going to be interesting. Oh, Invis Rune on the bench. They do get the stun off onto the Juggernaut. Juggernaut does have the spin coming off cooldown. He is going to be A-OK. And on top lane, Slardar misses the crush. They might actually want to turn around here. They are trying to go on the Slardar with the stun, but they are running into the tower here. They need to be careful. Center with the storm gets the onto the CK only. The Slardar getting chased down, but the Ogre does not have the mana. And now the TPs are coming in from the Juggernaut. Juggernaut should not have TP'd into this lane. Not sure what he was thinking. He does have the ultimate up, but he is not going to be able to close the gap. A very bad rotation from him. Misreading the situation completely.
It's gonna be a free lane for Underlord to get the tower actually. Even with the
Radiant's
card.
bottom tower is under
Yeah,
attack.
he's going to be able to push this very easily. And they know that Juggernaut is not going to be able to TP into this lane. The Slardar is not going to come, and it's going to be a free tier 1 tower. Without even the position 1 having to rotate into that lane.
Radiant structures
They do
are
have the
fortified.
center TPing bottom. He's going to be able to defend it at least for some time. So now the OD has rotated top as well, but there is a ward scouting this out, so OD needs to be careful. So both teams do see each other. There was a ward on the side of the Dire side as well, catching everyone out. Juggernaut staying in the tree line. He's not farming. This is the problem. Slaughter comes in, might get the stun. The stun is there onto the Juggernaut. Juggernaut manages to get the spin out, going on multiple targets here. Slaughter gets taken out with that OD Eclipse, taking him out very easily. Again, a very bad miscommunication. They should have gone on the Juggernaut instead of the Slaughter, because Juggernaut was very late on the spin.
Dire's middle tower has
Questionable plays for sure. And with that, they take off two different towers. They take off, the Dire team gets the bottom tier 1, but the more important tower is taken by Medusa, who has been free farming this entire time, sitting at 84 last hit, the highest in net worth, followed closely behind by the CK. So I think CK needs to make a rotation with the Armlet. I think he should get Armlet, Dagger maybe with an Echo Saber, should be able to kill the Medusa with the help of the OD.
But the issue is Medusa is having a free game so far, and he's top of the chart with 84 CS and already going for a Lincoln Spear.
That is true. They need to put the pressure early. Bit of dewarding being done. Touch it out. Both teams are still sticking to this top lane, but I think the winner here in this situation is the Radiant team, because the Medusa is free farming. The cast flies out, multi-casted, ignite onto the Juggernaut. Juggernaut turns around with the Blade Fury. The Medusa joins the fight as well with the MOM. OD astrals himself, and now the Witch Doctor with the ultimate, keeping everyone at bay. OD is going to be in a lot of trouble, and he is going to be able to force stuff himself out, but he is going to go down to the Melodic, and now the Vengeance Wit walks in as well. He goes down. Stampede is that double stomp actually on a single hero. That is the Ogre getting taken out, and the stomp onto two heroes. The cask is going to be off cooldown for 10 seconds, but a crush onto two heroes as well. Medusa with the ultimate trying to slow down the CK. CK turns around, gets himself slowed down, and they are going to be able to chase him down. The cask is going to be there, and the stomp as well. What a bad fight for the Dire team. The Vengeance Wit TP is into the lane as well. Gets stunned off. The amp is going to be there. I'm not sure why he's standing there. Lucky, I think, disconnected there for a moment. I think he was lagging a bit there. So game does get resumed by the Slaughter, and they will kill off the Venge.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
And that's the Venge going down twice, and a triple kill for Medusa with that rotation from him, sitting at 3,000 gold. An easy Lincoln Spear for him. Such a messy fight. OD going in there aggressively. He's not the hero who should be frontlining. And CK has not got a single level in his ultimate. Do you think the fight would have been different if the CK got his ultimate?
Yeah, definitely. Like, if he could have gotten a single kill at least, a Witch Doctor, like just one pole kill with the Armlet.
Yeah, he did have the Armlet at that time. So
but the
for a
issue
position,
is Medusa is lead.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah. And like they need to frontline with the CK or the Ogre or the Underlord. OD is not your frontline initiator, and I think Venge needs a level 6 so that they can start the fight with probably a swap, maybe onto the Juggernaut or the Medusa. Medusa probably is the target to swap in. And if you can burst him down during that time, which they can, they do have quite a bit of burst with the OD as well as CK, and they don't really need to clump up to kill him. OD can keep his distance with those right clicks from the Arcane Orb. All he needs to do is use the third skill, use the Arcane Orb hits, and while doing that, astro someone else who is coming to stun them, probably the Centaur or the Slaughter, and he's going to get mana from the damage that he does in that AoE, because most of the heroes are melee on the side of the Radiant team. That fight should have definitely been a lot different for them if the Venge had the level 6 and CK had taken his ultimate as well. So they are looking to pressure the issue here. Juggernaut going in with the spin. Medusa gets trapped in with that Pit of Malice, and get back is the call from the Juggernaut. CK going in. Needs to be careful though. He does not have the Phantasm. He goes in, gets stomped up. He does have the amp on him, and a lovely cast and a huge Witch Doctor ultimate, just destroying the Dire team here. The CK goes down for the second time. Dandalot will go down here as well. OD astrals himself for the time being, but he is going to go down as well. Ogre falls down, and the OD will fall behind him. This game just got really bad for the Dire team, and I mean, it's just huge misplays from them. They know that they cannot fight. Witch Doctor, again, really good positioning from him. These are the kills that they should be going for. I think squishy kills, if they can pick them off at the start of the fight, would have been a lot different, and Witch Doctor has been doing a lot of work. I think that was a 3-man Miladict with a Death Ward. It's just insane damage. Do you think there's a comeback for the Dire team here?
Of course, they have a comeback, but the way they are playing, I don't think like it's gonna be really hard.
I think they're building into the right items. I think they should go for. Wait, let me check. Yeah, they should go for. Should have gone for Crimson on the what do you call, the Underlord, which is really good against the Witch Doctor ultimate. Because it's pure physical damage, physical damage, and Crimson does a lot for your team. Especially against the heavy right clicks on the side of the Radiant team, because it's all right clicks, right? You have the Juggernaut, you have the Medusa, the Centaur who doesn't do a lot of magical damage. Like, the only person who is doing magical damage is, the only magical skill here is the Pit of Malice and Snake. Everything else is just negligible, so Crimson Guard would have been the better choice instead of the Mechanism. Definitely, I think Crimson Guard would have done a lot more, because he did get quite a bit of good farm. And Juggernaut picks up Battle Fury. I think he has it picked up. No, he's going for the Maelstrom.
He's keeping the Battle Fury. Yeah, I think he's keeping the Battle Fury and going for a Maelstrom.
Which is okay, I guess, if he did not go for the Perseverance. It's just a waste of gold now. Either you decide at the start of the game to go for Maelstrom first and not Battle Fury, or you go Battle Fury and skip the Maelstrom, or you go for both. You don't build halfway down multiple items. It's a mistake that a lot of players do. It shouldn't happen.
Yeah, just 1,900 gold just wasted for like 15 minutes.
Yeah. Because your effectiveness in fights, your farming speed, everything gets hindered by going for like basically multiple items. And Slardar very close to his Blink Dagger, going for a naked Blink just because of the fact that he has that 44% movement speed with that sprint. Juggernaut gets swapped in. I think that was a very bad swap, and Juggernaut is actually gets stunned up. The CK with that ultimate brings the Juggernaut in and does manage to get that kill. The Stampede not going to be enough to save the Juggernaut. Juggernaut falling behind. So these are the pickoffs that the Dire team need to, come back into the game. And with this CK ultimate, they can actually pressure. Actually, the ultimate is actually running out. So probably go back to farming.
But the thing is, CK is going for a drum now. It's too late to go for a drum now.
Yeah, definitely too late, because he has fallen behind, right? He did have a good start, but with those two fights that he took top lane, he did fall behind, and then it makes the drum very late. If he had got it before the time that, after he got his armlet, and if he did not die those 2 times, then the drums would have been good, because it does help his illusion, does help the teammates, and they need to play a very fast-paced game against against the lineup on the side of the Radiant side. So I don't think it was a bad item, but it's just a bad item at this time. Like, it's just too late for it now.
Yeah. He would be better off with an Echo Saber or even a Blink Dagger.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
For sure, I think Blink Dagger, Echo Saber Blink Dagger would have been the way to go. Especially when you're playing from behind, you want to, get those jump-ins. They do catch off the Medusa. Medusa with that ultimate chasing down. Juggernaut comes in. The vengeful spirit is going to be the sack here. Actually, the Ogre is going to be the sack here. But Ogre is still surviving. He does have the shrine, not going to commit it, keeping for his teammates. And now Medusa caught in the meantime. And the Odi with a huge ultimate there. And a lovely Witch Doctor ultimate. But it is going to get cancelled by the Odi. Good heads-up play from him. But he will get taken out as well. Triple kill for the Juggernaut. Coming back into this game very hard. And they did not focus the Medusa down. And they did pay the price. Vengeful Spirit with the stun onto the Slardar. The right choice here, cancelling the blink on the Slardar, keeping him at bay, managing to get away. But again, like, a very messy fight for them. They did have the opportunity. They should have immediately got back after they got the Centaur kill, realizing that the Witch Doctor and even the Juggernaut was going to be joining the fight after they chased the Ogre down.
Radiant's top tower is under
Should have been
attack.
happy with the centaur kill, whatever they can get at this point.
Radiant are scanning.
And the ultimate didn't do enough damage on the Medusa because he's very fat right
Radiant
now.
structures are
879 mana pool, and the OD ultimate just barely dented that mana pool because he did not have enough intel stored on. It's not enough right now.
Juggernaut now with the Maelstrom going back for the Battle Fury again.
At last.
Does get a bit of a juicy stack there. Very lackluster item building. This is really don't like it. So this is what actually differentiates.
Okay.
Yeah.
Actually.
Orchid.
Yeah, he has Orchid on his quick buy with C.
I mean, yeah, I understand the Bloodthorn, but I think Skadi here would have been better, or even a Butterfly for that matter.
Yeah, he only has 1000 HP because when he gets his item, he can melt the Medusa, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is just being like they are ahead, so you know, playing it a bit confident. But you know, games can turn. It only requires 1 or 2 pickoffs for things to turn on its head. So drums now completed on the CK. Very late into the game, 21 minutes in. Definitely not the item. Centaur has the dagger as well.
Or he's going for his BKB.
Only downside for the Radiant team is that their 2 cores are farmed, the position 1 and 2. Everyone else is just not farmed enough. And the rest of the team on the Dire team are actually, the 3 cores are, I wouldn't say they're ahead, but they're keeping up at least to a certain degree. And they just need 1 fight actually. CK level 2 ultimate.
Yeah, but I think the Slara is actually going to skip his wood and go for an Echo Saber next.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Again, not that I don't like it. It isn't too bad either. So they do catch. Oh, actually, they don't catch anyone. Ogre might get caught in the middle here. Centaur using the Stampede, going out to the Vengeful Spirit, manages to stun him up. But the Venge will go down here as a stun on to the Juggernaut. Juggernaut is in a lot of trouble, but does manage to get the Omni Slash off. And Medusa with the ultimate doing. Getting the CK stun. CK will go down here. Does not manage to use the Phantasm. And he pops it at the last moment, way too late in the day. And he manages to pick up an Invis rune, so should keep himself alive. Meanwhile, they are trying to go on to the Underlord as well as the Vengeful Spirit. OD trying to fight up against everyone. They lose 3, they lose 4, and that is going to be the end of the fight for them. It's such a messy fight.
Dire's bottom
I mean,
tower is under
like,
attack.
if they miss the initiation, they shouldn't fight. Just because of the fact
Dire's
that
bottom tower
the
has fallen.
Radiant team has such good counter initiate with multiple daggers. They have the Stampede to disengage. They have the Medusa ultimate to hold everyone at bay. They need to get a pick off. Like, they need to
Dire's
swap
bottom tower
someone in,
is
kill
under
them off
attack.
immediately, and drag the fight on so that, you know, the CK illusion survive. You bait the Medusa ultimate, you bait the Centaur Stampede, and then you fight. And CK just holding on to that ultimate when the Juggernaut was Omni Slashing just costed them quite a bit there. Taking the full damage from the Omni Slash as well as the Witch Doctor Maledict doing quite a bit of work.
This Witch Doctor have been playing really nice and he's on 8 kills, 0 deaths.
Yeah, as a support, I think he's doing a really good job, really good positioning, good item choice, going for that Glimmer Cape, you know, making sure that he keeps himself alive and no one is able to cancel it, and holding on to the ultimate until the Underlord uses his Pit of Malice, realizing that there is no other way to cancel unless they use a Dust and try to, you know, stop his ultimate. And at which point you already lose the fight, because if you use the swap to kill or to stop, for that matter, to stop the Witch Doctor ultimate, basically I've lost the fight at that point.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Things are looking pretty bleak for the Dire team. Memento Mori not doing too great here. And team Undefined, or was it? Yeah, Undefined. It's doing quite a good job. So Slada scouting everything out. He does get pinged out by the Dire team. It's good information. So the Slada is actually doing a good job at giving information on where the enemy team is, even though they do have vision. Slada just trying to mess around with the... Just goes to amp him, give him some vision. So I think they're calling for a smoke on the side of Radiant. Witch Doctor does have 2. Looking to close out the game fast, and it is going to be a 5-man smoke rotation. Let's see where they go. If they get an Ogre out of this kill, it's really not worth it. Juggernaut might get spotted up by the Underlord. He does have the ultimate. He's going to hold on to it, and now the center blinks in, stomps this Ogre, committing a lot for it. Ogre gets saved by the OD. OD managing to force Staff out. This is the fight that they needed. This is the way that they should have fight. They do sack over. Meanwhile, Juggernaut with an Omni Slash inside the base. They do manage to bring down the OD, and now Juggernaut is left alone inside the base. Buyback from the OD. Definitely not necessary, and I think the Radiant team needs to back off. They do get a stomp off onto the Ogre and will bring him down. And that OD buyback really not doing anything. Again, good intentions. They almost had it. Juggernaut, a really bad dive from him. He shouldn't be feeding himself when they are so far ahead. They could have easily got that tier 2 and maybe even tier 3. And OD should not have Astral the Ogre for sure there. Like, they should disengage, sack the Ogre. They committed so much, you know, ignore the fact that they caught the Ogre and then taken the fight after the Medusa ultimate was over. It would have been a much better fight for them. And OD would have survived if he had held on to the Astral there. So they are looking to push with this. The Juggernaut does TP in. He does not have the Omni Slash, and the Dire team is forced to back up. Couple of bounty runes that have not been picked up. Should probably work on that. So for the newer players who are watching this stream, guys, bounty runes are so important. Those timings are very, very key. So every time, every time it reaches that 5-minute mark, be ready to contest, be ready to fight. Like that is the time where, fights actually occur, because you contest those bounty runes, you contest the enemy bounty runes, you think you're strong enough, and, get a pick off out of it and get that extra gold for your team. It gives you basically almost 1,000 gold. Yeah, it's actually 1,000 gold, right? Yeah. I'm not. Is it 1,000 gold?
No,
yeah.
It depends on the
yeah,
game,
so it's around. Yeah, time. So at this point, it's giving around 94 gold per head. So it's around 400 something gold per when you take all 4 bounties. Actually, 1 bounty gives you 500 net worth lead over the other team. Get 2, it's 1,000. If you get 4, it's actually almost 2,000. It's around 1,800 gold for your team. That's quite a bit of net worth. I think. Did I get my maths right? I think. Yeah. I think.
Yeah, that's right.
Feasible.
A lucky find.
So leftover bounty rune on the enemy side.
Skadi, right?
Finally going for a Skadi. I mean, they could have closed out the game if the Juggernaut did not dive in there.
And the Juggernaut have lost his Battle Fury and the Courier. Waiting for it.
Oh. Oh no. There is a lot of things to learn from watching these games, because you see a lot of mistakes that players do. It's about not repeating them. And even the teams who are bidding, the advice is to watch this game. So they are smoked in. They might actually find the Ogre here, getting a bit of D-wards done. Centaur looking to stomp, does not manage to land it. Ogre turns around with the ignite, manages to get it off on 2. They should just do Roshan right now. I'm not sure why they're not doing it. There's very little chance.
The base and they turn back.
Probably looking to take this tier 2 tower before they do. I mean, they are strong. They can do it after they get the tier 2.
CK's actually
go back for the
a heart now.
tier 3.
Dire's structures are fortified.
It isn't bad.
Dire's middle
I
tower
just
is under attack.
think that he should have gone for a pick-off item, but again, for the pick-off item also, it's just way too late. Because the Radiant team is playing basically a 5-man team game here. They know that they're strong. So Juggernaut, forcing that Pit of Malice.
Middle tower has fallen.
And now they are going to go back for Rosh, I think. At least they should. That has to be the game. That's how they do it, because they do have the amp on Slardar. That's 15 armor minus, and it's going to be a very easy Roshan with the amount of damage that Medusa and Juggernaut does together. Even without the amp,
Radiant's bottom tower
just
is
way
under
too
attack.
much damage. Slardar should use the amp again. I'm not sure why the Slardar is not using the amp again. He cancels the link because he's actually watching bottom lane. Slardar is cheaping here. Underlord needs to be careful. Gets the amp out and does get stunned. The blade mill popped, but he's controlling him for the timing at least. Going to force stuff. The stun is going to cancel the TP. He does not have the Dark Rift as well. It's going to be an easy peasy kill. They do get Roshan on top of that. So good rotation by them. Well played coming out from the Juggernaut. Definitely these two supports actually have been doing a lot of work for the Red team.
A soldier's fortune.
Supports win games, guys. Something especially very true to the current meta, because those are the two heroes that win you the laning stage, and winning the laning stage is super important right now. You win lanes, you win the game. It's basically it.
Look there.
I think there was a good saying from one of the top tier players who won the best player award this year as well, Viren, who said that skill wins you the lanes, teamwork wins you the game, which is very true, right? So even if you win your lane, if you don't have good teamwork to close out the game, a lot of teams make the mistake going high ground. If you don't have good teamwork, you just mess up the high ground push and the game turns on its head. So basically skill and positioning wins you the lane, and teamwork wins you the game. Very good saying from him. I mean, they definitely know what they're talking about. He's right now the highest ranked player in the country. I think is 1,600 in SCA. He's around that. I don't know whether it has improved or decreased over the time. Last time I checked, he was 1,006. Mind you, guys, he's a support player, so things to learn. Not sure why the Radiant team is waiting. They do have the Aegis on them. They have all their ultimates up.
And they even have the Iskari on Medusa. Maybe they are waiting for the Mantis style on Juggernaut.
I mean,
it's actually not needed right now.
Not necessary. Yeah.
Yeah, leading really.
21k net worth lead. Very unnecessary to wait. It's just delaying their push, but he does have the Mantis style up anyway, so not sure why he's not getting it delivered. So I think it's just the Dire team playing a very bad game, because I don't know the players on the Radiant side. I know a couple of the players on the Dire side, and they're not bad players at all. It's just that I think they've been out of Dota for some time and just playing it very bad. Meanwhile, Vengeful Spirit gets stunned up by the center, and Medusa uses the ultimate way too early. The Vengeful Spirit does get taken out. Slardar jumps in onto two heroes, and the Omni Slash onto the OD, as well as the Ogre OD will get taken out. Here, one more hit, he survives, and Underlord gets chased up, so OD does not have buyback. Witch Doctor did go down in that fight, but they are going to be able to clear that top tower as well as Rex, and maybe even the mid. Oh, meanwhile, Centaur gets dragged in from the CK in a lot of trouble. Does have another storm cooling off, does not manage to get it off, and now the Juggernaut joins the fight as well. He wants to fight up against the CK. CK falling down low, and they go back into the Rex, which is the right choice, because CK does not have the illusion. There is nothing that they can do to stop this. CK does stun the Juggernaut. Juggernaut gets multicasted. That's the Aegis going to be popped. But the Medusa doing so much of work on these heroes, and the Ogre, actually the Underlord just survives there.
Sympathy.
Expected him to go down. They do bring down the Ogre, who does that buyback, and the Vengeful Spirit as well. Wicked 6 Shriek for the Medusa, who is extremely fat. He just seems unkillable without the OD. Like, they need to commit so much to kill him, so on the top side, when they do respawn back up, they are going to be able to contest this, at least fight. Juggernaut gets pulled back in, and the CK forced stuff out. A good force stuff by the Underlord, and now the OD joins the fight. He does have needs to use that Astral, uses the ultimate way too early. And the Medusa turns around with the ultimate. The Underlord is in a little bit of trouble. Odie gets stunned up as well. Odie needs to be careful. 4 stops out. They are controlling. They are holding. They are defending this. And now the CK gets amped up, and Medusa has no mana at all. Lincolns get popped. If they can actually go on this, the Slardar jumps in onto the CK. CK is in a little bit of trouble, but they do use the drums to disengage here, and they are going to take this tier 3 tower. They need the Underlord here to get a good Pit of Malice off. A stomp onto the CK. CK needs to be very careful. He does have the armor. He toggles, and a lovely 3-man crush from the Slardar with the Omni Slash, taking out the CK, and they will get the Ogre here as well. Actually, the Odie survived with that 4-star. Odie trying to kill the Slardar here, does get the stun off, and they will bring him down, but the damage has been done. They are going to take this melee barracks as well. Can they do? Odie looking very strong here, getting quite a bit of damage. Intel stolen, 64 Intel stolen. Centaur needs to be careful, and now a lovely death ward by the Witch Doctor, keeping everyone in control. Odie needs to be careful. He 4-stars into the fight, trying to kill the Witch Doctor. Disconnect on the CK, and monster kill streak for the Medusa, just not doing a lot. Pause call from the ref. They are realizing, the team did not realize that the CK disconnected. So CK coming back up. He does have the ultimate up. Maybe they can take a fight, but Odie just not really good.
The thing is, Odie really needs his BKB up right now.
Yeah.
Even if he buybacks, he doesn't have a BKB, and it's going to be really hard to fight against the Centaur Stomp and Witch Doctor cast, and also the Medusa damage.
I think the biggest problem that they have is Underlord is good, but they don't have an initiating hero other than the Venge, because the CK also did not go for a dagger. And it's just, things fell apart because not enough pressure was put on the Medusa, and the Underlord just completely getting dominated in the bottom lane, even though the Juggernaut was not getting farm. And they drew back off, so 2 sets of racks down. Dire team in a lot of trouble. 27k net worth lead looks pretty bleak for them. So Medusa is actually going for a Deadless instead of Bloodthorn, which is the correct choice. I don't think Bloodthorn was the item. Deadless gives you better damage.
Yeah, with the Deadless now he can just man fight like a tower.
So it gives 30%, 235.
Double damage.
Yeah, so the Deadless just gives way much more damage than your Bloodthorn. Of course, it does give permanent crits on the Bloodthorn target, but you're a Medusa, you're a split shot, so prefer to have the Deadless over the Bloodthorn for sure. Since the Bloodthorn is not necessary to control anyone on the Dire team. So CK has completed his heart a little bit too late in the day.
Odie will have his BKB on the next fight. We'll see how it goes around.
Dire's top shrine is under attack.
Hey, wake up.
Wait a minute, did they change how Odie's third works? So I just saw him getting mana off of his Arcane Orb. I thought that was not possible because initially when the patch came out,
Dire's top shrine is under
Arcane
attack.
Orb was considered pure and it did not give you
Dire's
mana
top shrine
when you use the
fallen.
third skill.
The thing is, now it's spell damage lifesteal, like not magic damage lifesteal.
Ah, okay. When did they change that?
I think it's the first time,
Yeah.
like they with. No.
Wait, when
first
the
time.
initial patch came out, it was like that? No.
Yeah.
Was it?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, no. I'll tell you how he life steals. It's because of the splash damage from the Arcane Orb. if it's only hitting one target, he does not lifesteal out of it. But if it's said, oh, meanwhile, they do engage with the Stampede in and the Omni Slash as well. What a good engagement there. A lovely, lovely, lovely initiation. And they do bring down 2 heroes, 3 heroes dead. And that's basically GG. What a lovely initiation there by the center. Just very good play coming out from the Radiant team there. That initiation was just on point, cleaning everyone out, getting that 2-man stomp. And that's basically a game. I'm not sure why they're not calling GG. And now another lovely crush onto 2 heroes. OD just melts to the Medusa, and that's the Underlord. Sorry, the CK going down as well. GG, well played call, and that is going to be Team Undefined going forward. Whereas Team Memento Mori will get knocked out of the tournament in this running for the 800k prize pool, and of course a spot to represent Sri Lanka in the Acer Predator main event in 2019 happening in Bangkok. So guys, that is it for the 8 o'clock game here. That's game number 9. We do have more matches coming your way at 10 o'clock, so do stay tuned in for that. More action-packed gaming coming your way. Sri Lankan qualifiers, Acer Predator, hats off to them for giving the opportunity for the Sri Lankan players to, you know, compete for such a huge prize pool. I think it's the largest prize pool ever for a Dota 2 tournament in the country, so which is amazing for the community as a whole to, you know, develop, to give that incentive to the players. So hats off to them, and we will catch you all at the 10 p.m. game. So see you guys, be right back.